When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those unseen?
I see departed souls, and I'm able to communicate with them. I get messages from beyond, from your lost loved ones. You may be surprised at what they have to say.
And ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the amazing, very
Michele
tropical.
Livingston.
Yeah, very, very tropical.
Yeah.
I had a good week, and yeah, I'll announce the winner of the book from last week in a minute. And I want to thank everyone for watching and for sharing and for actually telling everybody and for calling. So I wanted to mention tonight, if it's your first time and you're on my fan page, please go to the chat room. That will get your call through more quickly. And the chat room is UBN-TV.com, and it's channel 2. That will get you through. And then John Williams, my wonderful co-host. Love you, John.
Oh, I love you too, man.
He can see your chats. And if you're a first-time caller, please note that. We try to get to as many people as we can, but I'd love to hear from some new callers, first-time callers. So, John, you'll be able to see that, of course, won't you, in the chat room?
Exactly, yeah. And I just sent a message to everybody who is in their chat room to know.
Good.
Yeah.
So all you have to say is your first name and first-time caller.
Yep.
We'll try to get you in. We try to do the best we can with picking. How about it, John?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but Spirit, is in control of all of that.
I know it.
Yeah.
You got it. So, yeah. So how was your week?
It's been good. It's been good. I have been starting some new projects and been really busy with that. So I've been spending a lot of time, working on everything. So it's good. Yeah.
Does it deal with music? Is it a surprise?
Well, it's music. It's a lot of different things. It's like, it's like what I've been doing is to just taking different pieces of the puzzle and putting them together to find out what it is that, I'm going to excel at. So.
Yeah. Well, you excel a lot, John.
Oh,
you do.
Thank you.
So you're great. And I thought we'd talk a little bit tonight or today, depending where you're watching, on psychics, mediums, medical intuitives, ones that deal with cards, because sometimes, and paranormal investigators, sometimes people tend to lump everyone that does psychic work together.
Yeah.
And this is why I wanted to clarify the difference for some people, especially the new people. All mediums are psychic. We know that, right, John?
Yeah.
but not all psychics are mediums.
Right.
So psychics feel energy. They know what opportunities are coming up for someone if someone has a reading with them. They are very aware of what's around the individual in the auric field. The auric is the energy field around the person, which we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
And a medium connects you, of course, from this realm, which is the third dimensional world, to the fourth dimensional heavenly realms. And I'm a psychic medium. So not all psychics are mediums. Not all connect you to the higher frequencies or the higher realms, whether it's angels or departed loved ones. So I wanted to clarify that. And sometimes people ask, well, how do I work as a medium? Well, as a medium, I see the spirit realms very plainly. And I see them, I think, because I'm an artist. And I've said that before on other shows, that the artist within me helps me to visualize clairvoyantly the spirit realms. So the spirits are prepped before they come in to a reading. When I say that, they have to learn too, because they've never had a mouthpiece to work through, unless they have worked with other mediums, of course. This is the heavenly realms. So they have to learn where to stand in regards to the person. I keep my eyes closed, of course, because I'm looking with the third eye, which is the spiritual eye, not the physical eye, because spirits are not in the physical world. But they will be told what symbols to give to get me to say certain things. It's a matter of decoding And after 27 years, you have to decode pretty rapidly, John, because, you know, it comes out so quickly.
Yeah.
So I visualize the person in my mind, whether it's a phone reading or if it's an in-person reading. I try to keep my eyes open a little bit, but they'll circle around. So one side would be mother's side and one side would be father's side from the spirit world. A younger child is in front. Behind, that has passed, of course. Behind would be in-laws, friends, and that kind of thing, spouse. So they're in a category immediately, and they'll project the way they want to project. And we know the soul is energy, so that the soul can take on a recognizable form. Most of them want to look younger than before they passed. And what they're doing is, again, telepathically working with me. So they're throwing symbols at me, memories, what they did for a living, what they passed away of. It takes the acknowledgement of the person that I'm sitting with to help to energetically have a conversation. It's not just about rattling off things.
Okay.
When the person says, yes, that makes sense, or I can confirm that, what the spirit world does, or whoever's communicating telepathically, he or she will take that energy from the individual, the confirmation, so to speak, and build on it and make it another thought, and then push it through me back to the person. So I'm just the conduit or the messenger. Sometimes future information comes out. Now, as far as fortune telling, which I don't go for, of course, I think that we all have free choice and free will. I think there are opportunities that may present themselves in a lifetime. I think we're on a certain timeline. I think you agree with this.
Yes.
So if a baby's going to be conceived, that would be in the record of life. They unscroll that and let me see that. If a job opportunity may present itself, or there might be a merging with a company or an expansion with a company, they'll show me that. But as far as free choice and free will goes, if you want to get back with a partner, for example, that you are in love with, and they don't want to get back with you, well, that's where a good reader will say about free choice and free will. Hopefully readers don't tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear.
Yes.
And what is really for your highest good. So, yeah. So I'm a medium too, but some psychic things come out. And as far as psychic detective work, that's on the fringe for me. I can do it, but I think too empathic John to really carry through with it. Did I share that I did a psychic detective thing years ago in Philadelphia with the Philadelphia police? I don't know if I ever shared that.
No.
An investigation.
I don't think so.
I was on Philadelphia TV a lot and was called by the police department for an investigation. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try. And the lady was strangled, and she was alone in her place, and her son-in-law had a key and came in and went to the back room. I saw it very graphically, and the rooms and everything, and how he entered. And he took an ironing cord. It sounds kind of bizarre, but he cut off an ironing cord, and she didn't hear him. She had the TV cranked up, and he came up behind her and he put the ironing cord around her neck and actually strangled her to death. Now they had just taken out, or she had just taken out, an insurance policy on her life, probably a year prior, and told her daughter, but didn't tell her son-in-law. And he got wind of it. And I don't know if the daughter was involved or not, but it was bad. And so I said to my husband, my heart was pounding, and I saw it, and they got all the details. Well, he had fled to another state. So it was very hard to track him down. But the next morning I woke up and I literally had a red ring, burn ring around my neck. I did.
Wow.
And I said to my husband, I don't think I can do this work. I don't think I'll ever try it again. It was unbelievable. And also I was overlapping into another case with hotel room numbers that was verified. But I think that when you're doing this work, you need to focus, because there's an old saying, jack of all, master of none. And I really think it's good to hone in or focus on where you want to be and what you want to do to serve humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So my decision was to help people heal, of course, and bring them closure from loss. I hope I've done that over these many decades, these many years. How I feel, I don't know how you feel about Ouija boards, but I feel they're out. No way.
Yeah.
And do you agree, John?
Yeah, I don't mess with those. Definitely not.
I know. I don't believe in messing with them. There are paranormal investigators, and they're very good at what they do. And they try to prove the existence of earthbound spirits.
Mm-hmm.
We also call them discarnates. And discarnate spirits, there are many reasons they're still on Earth. Some don't know they're passed away if they died quickly or tragically. Some see the light and do not want to go to the light. If some were physically or psychologically addicted to alcohol or drugs, they kind of want to hover around the same places they were used to. Not all of them, but just like a real small percentage of them. And so I think that paranormal investigation's fine with the EVPs. It gives you a semblance of what's around on the earth plane. But if I was doing it, I would tell them to go to the light. I would say, you're earthbound. You're either here because you built a home 300 years ago and you are curious to see who's moving in and who's moving out.
Mm-hmm.
The Gettysburg battlefield is close to us, for example, and they do a lot of paranormal investigations there. There are soldiers that have been seen there in uniform that I guess do not know they're still, or they get into a loop. They don't know that they're caught between dimensions. And that's what I would say, caught between dimensions, actually. But getting back to Ouija boards, there are discarnate spirits that can play with you and not in a good way. So if you are dabbling, so to speak, in the spirit realms, you need to protect. When you are using a Ouija board, you don't know what discarnate earthbound spirit is going to hop on there or what information they're going to give you. So Ouija boards are out. So as far as predicting the future, as I said, we all have our own path to make, and the future is not really etched in stone, and everybody knows that. And one decision actually affects many, many people. One decision can affect your whole life. And every day we have decisions that need to be made. Where to live, who to marry, if we want pets, if we want children, if we want to relocate, divorce. There are just millions of decisions that we make each lifetime. And that's what's beautiful about the option of free choice and free will, that we're not confined to believe in any one circumstance or any one situation, whether it's religious or whether it's political, which I don't want to really get into right now. But we have free choice. And so when somebody comes to me, they come to me usually with a fairly recent loss. There is no time in the other realms. Time is basically man-made here on Earth plane. Time does not exist in the other dimensions. And actually there are 12 dimensions.
All right, Michele. So we're discussing a lot about the difference between psychic, medium, fortune teller, paranormal investigator. A lot of them are dealing with the afterlife, but all in different ways. And
all in different ways.
Yes. So that's what we're discussing today. So I guess an example of a psychic versus a medium would be necessarily sometimes psychics can get information from spirit guides and not necessarily other people from the other side. So that would be a difference between a psychic and a medium, right? So they can get information from spirit guides to reveal in a reading to help somebody with maybe planning their future or, But what you said earlier is that free choice is what we have, and free will, and that's one of the most powerful choices that we have, and that will affect our so-called destiny, if you want to use that word. Yes. So I'm with you there. So I just wanted to recap for those who are just now joining us to join in the conversation. If you have any questions, to let us know. We'll do our best to ask those. And you can also call 323-649-8268, 323-649-8268.
And as I was saying earlier, if you're a first-time caller, please
Yes.
let John know.
Yes.
Go into the chat room and give your first name and let John know, because we want to get new callers on. I know sometimes people wait an hour or over an hour and they get a little frustrated. So I'd like to bring them on if we can. So what I was saying for the first 15 minutes.
Yes.
For those of you just tuning in, all psychics are not necessarily mediums. All mediums are psychics, though. So a psychic is someone that can read an auric field, can tell you the opportunities that may present themselves in your life, whereas a medium will connect you with earth to heaven. So we're in the third dimensional world. The heavenly realms are the fourth dimension, and it's a higher and faster frequency. And I had to decide myself which area to go into. I think I started 27 years ago a little bit as a psychic, because I was starting to see symbols in people's auric fields, John. And then that led to seeing my first human soul at a Penn State expo, where I looked up and there was a gentleman there, and he was very lucid. I could see through him. And he gave me his first name telepathically. That got me on the road to doing my mediumship work. Sometimes as a medium, I do see opportunities that may present themselves. So it's called the record of life. And the record of life can be unscrolled. So sometimes they'll let me see how many children, for example, a person has soul contracted to have. Or as I said earlier, if a company is expanding or merging and someone's job is slightly changing, they'll show me that. So there are opportunities and potentials ahead. So mediums can also tap into those opportunities and potentials for you in the future.
Okay.
We were talking about that. We were talking about paranormal investigation. Yes. I don't know if that was on recorded. So that recording could be replayed, or I could repeat what I said about the investigation part.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. We do have a local recording of everything, Michelle, that was said. So even though it didn't go out live, it is recorded. So yes.
Okay, so we could maybe play that before the show. Yeah, because I have all my notes here, and I'm
no problem.
20 minutes into all my notes.
Oh yeah, no problem. So so you can. So with paranormal investigators, some of them could be a medium that are using the equipment that paranormal investigators use, but most times they're ghost hunters or paranormal investigators that are necessarily maybe more following their intuition, but not necessarily picking up from the spirit itself. Correct? Okay.
Yes, and I was talking about Ouija boards. Please don't fool around with them.
Yes.
You didn't hear me say that. There are a lot of discarnate earthbound spirits, and they will play with you if you don't protect. You need to protect yourself.
And what do you think about angel boards? People say they're on a higher vibration than a Ouija board, but like an angel board where it does spell out things like a Ouija board. Do you think a discarnate spirit or whatever could fool you? Or do you think that that's a protected space because it's an angel board?
Well, you need to protect yourself no matter what kind of board you're on.
Got it.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just say, "Dear Lord, please protect me during this process, and let me stay in the white light, and let me only attract spirits that are for my highest good, and give me information that is for my highest good." And you will receive good, solid information. I don't think it has to do with what kind of board it is necessarily. It's how the person approaches it and what space they're in, John.
Okay.
And if they're in a good white light, healing space.
Got it. Okay.
That's important. So, so people have asked me so many years, what kind of work do you do? And that's why I wanted to cover psychics versus mediums.
Yeah.
And also paranormal investigators. There's nothing wrong with those. We have a lot here in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We live near the battlefield.
Yeah.
And they have been spotted in full regalia in their uniforms. Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the paranormal groups will go in and get the EVPs and try to talk to them. They get a lot of white noise. I personally, if I did that, I'd say get to the light.
Uh-huh.
You passed in 1860. What are you doing still hanging around here?
Yeah, exactly.
But,
well, that's the other question, because I've heard that sometimes it's just residual energy. It's not necessarily them. It's just them on a loop, if that
Yes.
makes any sense. Does
Yes,
that make sense?
It does make
Okay.
perfect sense. Think of the old time records, or if a CD would get stuck, it would be in the same loop, and
Mhm.
it would play over and over and over again. So there are cases where spirits have been seen doing the same thing. It's kind of a very strange concept, over and over. Like every couple minutes, they'll repeat the same action.
Yeah, yeah.
I think there was a lady in one of the bed and breakfasts in Gettysburg, and she was a baker, and they saw her. She'd actually go to the oven, and then she'd bring things to the table, and then she'd wait, and then she'd go to the oven, then she'd bring things to the table, and then she'd wait. So it was like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
And the crazy part is they do not realize that they're stuck in the loop,
Yeah, yeah.
and that would be a whole new.
But are they stuck in the loop, or is it just their energy is there and it's replaying?
Residual. It could be residual
Okay,
energy.
but
It's
their
stuck.
soul could be on the other side.
Could be.
With residual energy that's just that the EVPs are picking up because it's left over. Yeah, especially if it's a traumatic situation, right?
Yeah.
It's even
Yeah.
stronger energy.
Yeah, it
Okay.
would be. If it's a traumatic situation.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even know they're passed away. See, that's the other thing I wanted to address too. Only a small percentage. If there's a murder, for example, or a battlefield, they go out very quickly and tragically. Not all, but some get stuck. Some don't know that they're passed on.
Right,
Either.
right, and
They're
that's
looking.
we had talked about that of them ending up in the gray area, right? Too, and then having
Right.
this.
Heavenly volunteers
Yes,
come down
yes,
to
exactly.
try to help them up and out of the
Mhm.
gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, and tarot cards too they're a form of communication. It's a tool that you use. I've personally never used them. I've never gone to a tarot reader, but I assume it's just a tool that's used.
Yeah, yeah. I used to use them back in the day, when I was reading, and they were used. I used the Osho Zen deck, which is all positive stuff. It's nothing negative, what it did is it just helped me focus the information I was already receiving as confirmation in the cards, and to help me focus my thoughts and my way of delivering the information. Because when as just doing this work, you get scattered,
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so and trying to interpret certain things, and so the cards are a nice tool to help you focus, really.
It is, and also it's good to white light your space wherever you're living
Uh-huh.
or wherever you're working. If you're doing spiritual work, that's in my one book, Messages from Beyond. But I do want to say you can cleanse rooms, you can spray holy water, or actually take water, put it in the sunlight to get it energized, and spray it throughout the home. You can visualize a white sheet underneath the bottom of your space or your home, and slowly bring it up through the different floors. Take the four corners, tie them together, and send them out into the universe. And what that does is it raises and lifts the energy. Opening windows in the spring or summer in the east is really good, because energy can get trapped. I think we talked about that on other shows. Clutter. A lot of clutter can trap energy. So there's really no place for energy to move. And that actually creates a scattered mind, a scattered environment. So those of you watching, pare back, clean out, get rid of things.
Yeah.
It's we call it spring cleaning in the East.
Yeah. And sage and do all those wonderful things that you need to do anytime you make any big changes, right?
Sage is another good way.
Or if you have a guest staying or whatever, you want to clear out the space after they leave.
That's excellent.
A lot of people are doing Airbnbs these days, so it's like anytime you get a new tenant, you want to sage after the fact. And
how about it?
Yeah,
Because energy literally can go through walls.
Yeah.
I was living in the condo years ago by myself, and God bless the gentleman next to me. He took his life.
Mm.
And I would get awake in the middle of the night and he'd be standing there at the foot of my bed. And so I prayed for his soul to get to the light. He shot himself, and believe it or not, it was around Halloween. It was at Halloween, actually. And some of the things in my condo were being moved around. Pictures were being moved and so on and so forth. So I white lighted the house. I did the sage. I opened the windows of my condo. I prayed, and he went on his way. But my point is, when you're in a condo, the walls are like this, and energy can literally flow through any object. So even next door neighbors white light their place, or neighbors across the street, white light their place. And also visualize sparkling white light around your whole environment and the outside. That's what I'm trying to say. So that nothing can come towards you. And as far as paranormal investigation, I shared a story. I know it was recorded, but I'll do it again since we're live now. I was on CN8 for a long time, for 8 years in Philadelphia. And the police department called me, and knowing I'm a medium, they were curious if I could work on an investigation. And as I said earlier, a son-in-law strangled his mother-in-law. She had taken insurance policy out about a year prior. I saw where he broke into the home. He took an ironing cord from the back of the bedroom, and he strangled her with an ironing cord, which is terrible. But then he fled to another state, and I don't think they ever really caught him. But the next morning when I woke up, I think it was just awful, a red burn mark around my neck.
Wow.
And so that's when I said to my husband, I don't think I'm cut out for psychic detective work is what I'm trying to say. I'm just not cut out for it.
Right.
I'm too sensitive and I'm too empathic, John.
I understand that. I understand. You don't even like watching those movies, so I can imagine if you had to do a real case. I mean, come on.
I know.
Right? Yeah. So, but it was good for you for trying and at least, figuring out if that was for you or not. But
yeah. And as I said earlier, Jack of all, master of none, I think that there needs to be focus when you're doing spiritual work.
Yes.
And so my mission is to bring comfort and peace. That's what I said earlier. And hope to those that have had loss in their lives. It's so final. And there's not a lot of closure, of course, especially when somebody passes quickly.
So the interesting question that Andrea is asking is, how did the spirit physically touch or, manipulate things, or, how did you get that red mark around your neck?
Actually, I don't know. There's no time when you do this work. That would be the past. So
Yeah.
you're entering into another cycle of time. And please, I have no idea, but I actually felt her being strangled.
Yeah.
Where I got to the point I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And that red ring around my neck did it for me.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, I was getting hotel room numbers too. So I was overlapping two cases.
Okay.
And it was very valid and it was very accurate.
Yeah.
But it's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Oh, I understand. There's a very interesting show, and I can't think of the name of it at the moment, but I happened to be watching it when I was flipping through channels, right? And it's an investigator, and then he works with a psychic medium, and they don't communicate with each other until after the case, and then they compare notes. And it's pretty incredible, the information that comes through, and all the research that he does, and then all the psychic information that she receives, and then they compare notes. It's very, very cool. And there's been some cases where what you're saying had happened. So, yeah.
Yes.
Where they do feel it physically and all of that. So I wouldn't be doing that work myself either. I mean, it's great for the people who have the courage and have the, and have been called to do that work. So good for them,
Yeah. And I don't know if they're as sensitive or as empathic.
Yeah.
Because that would be more on the darker side, I would think.
Right.
Of course, than the light. And so I try to stay in the light, John.
Yeah. Well, working with the dark to get to the light sometimes, right? I mean, that's sometimes.
I mean, that helps people too. It solves,
exactly. Yeah.
Cases and everything.
Right. Yeah. In fact, on UBN we have a show now where every third Thursday it's a psychic investigation with a missing person or someone who was, a homicide or
Interesting.
yeah. So every third Thursday, I'm sorry. They look at that. So, and it's a whole different kind of energy when we do a show like that. So I understand what you're saying. So you said before that you were a trance channel. So do you think that has anything to do with you feeling?
Yes.
Okay. And for those who don't know what a trance channel is, can you go into explaining a little bit what that is?
A trance channel is a medium that takes on the personality of the individual who's being channeled. So, for example, if a grandfather figure was really a character and he would come through, my voice does not change, but my mannerisms change and my intonations change depending on who's saying hello. And he might say, "Hey, how you doing?" He'd be the same type of personality. He might tell me what he passed away of. They let me feel like if they have a diabetic condition, I'll feel edema or poor circulation in my legs. If they've had a heart condition, I'll actually feel pressure like a cinder block on my chest. So a trance channel gets the feelings, but also the personality. And I don't remember anything. I say I'm just the go-between to get all the information through.
Right.
To the person, and then it's gone.
Would you ever trance channel a spirit guide, ascended master, something other than just someone who has crossed?
I have 3 angels that I work with, and I just call them the light beings. 3 is the number of protection for those watching. So how it works for me is I'll take 8 slow, deep breaths. With each breath, I open up channels, and I can actually feel my soul going up out of my body slightly as the loved ones come down, because they're in a higher, faster frequency than we are. And then I keep my eyes closed if it's a phone reading the whole time. If it's an in-person reading, I open them sporadically because I'm looking around the person to see who's saying hello. And souls circle the person depending on who it is. So as I said earlier, we have different sides of the family. We have in-laws, we have spouses, children. So they start to circle around. And I feel the energy coming in. Now, some souls are happy. When I say that, they have great sense of humor. They'll come in joking. But no, if I would remember thousands upon thousands of readings for the last 27 years, I wouldn't be talking to you, John.
Right.
I would be somewhere else.
Yeah. No, I understand. I totally understand that. You would have blown your channel by now, right?
I would have blown my channel.
Blown the fuse. Yeah.
So you really have to. It's a lifestyle when you're a medium or trance channel. You have to drink lots of steam distilled water right here, and also get extra physical rest, because we do astral travel at night,
Yeah.
And so many times I know I'm out doing work in the astral world at night. And therefore, you're working during the day, you're doing readings, and at night you're out being mentored and meeting up with other souls and so on. So you really have to watch what you eat. Greens are good. Protein, absolutely have to have protein every day. Protein meats, it helps with the energy. B100 complex is very good. And I get a lot of messages. I'm starting out as a medium. What should I do? Well, again, it's a lifestyle that you need to acquire and stick with. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Stick with it. And I don't really mentor other mediums, but my friend James Von Prague does. He still has his school of mystical arts, and I recommend him. He's excellent. There's my friend. That's how I got on UBN. How about it, John?
Yes. Yeah. You were my first interview on James's show, and then
really,
and then we developed a show around you right after. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I've had a great time.
Well, I've had a great time too.
Yeah, it's been a great run, and I'm looking forward to the next development, which is going to be the classes that we're going to be doing online.
The webinars.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah, which is going to be excellent. And we have a lot of people who are interested in doing that. So it's going to be live book study with Michele, and more time, diving into these topics, because a lot of times with the show, we can't really get into a lot of the question and answer just because we're taking calls and everything else going on. But we will be doing readings as well on the webinars. So it will be awesome.
Yeah.
So
and I had a lot of volunteers say that they do have a
webcam?
webcam. Yes.
And they can do it on their phone too. I mean, it's just, we're going to suggest people use their computer, but because it's going to, it's going to be slides, and there's going to be all kinds of cool things to make it very interactive.
So they can pull it up, and we'll go deeper with each book. I have 7 books.
Exactly. You do.
I'm working on the 7th. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. The pets and the
pets
the
and
fur
animals.
babies. Yes.
Fantastic
yes.
stories have come in. So thank you, everybody. Mwah, for sending the stories.
Yeah, and speaking of you reaching out to people, you have a seminar coming up, and let's go ahead and play that ad, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about that, okay?
Okay.
All right.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's my daughter. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese, and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it? Oh, thank you so much.
All right, and we're back. So, Michele, you were saying that you're going to be doing a seminar at the Quinton Writing Club, and that's when? May
21st.
May 21st. All right.
Almost sold out, and it's a riding club, so people are thinking, well, it's a horse club. But they have a beautiful dining room, and they have a pub, a tavern, and it seats about 100 people. So it's 45 beautiful acres, and I was invited to do it there, and it's filling. So
that's about 11 days from now, right? So today's
Yes.
the 10th. So yeah.
And we're
Okay.
having a buffet dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fun to go different places. It really is.
Very
Maybe I'll hop on a plane and go out to each in LA.
I can't wait. I know we keep talking about it. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. It's going to be awesome.
And I have a couple more shows in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do a little hiatus.
A summer hiatus to go on a
yeah.
trip and enjoy your vacation. And
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I've been called to southern France.
Oh, cool.
To Provence and the Riviera for a while. So I don't know if I'll be doing readings there, but I know I'll be enjoying myself.
Yeah.
It'll be beautiful this summer.
That'll be
And
great.
so I'll be back on in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I love doing it. And we have so many wonderful listeners in college.
We
don't
do.
John? Oh my
Yes, we
gosh.
do.
It's amazing. And I want to announce who won. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Last week.
Mhm.
Living in the Afterlife book. It's Corinne Toloski. And she's in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And she shared a lot. So she won the book. I don't know if Corinne's in there. We had a little glitch at the very beginning with Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know if I started right at 7, and a lot of times people are waiting
Yes.
right at 7. So Corinne, if you're listening, or you can call in and also message me your address, and I'll send you a signed copy.
Yay! Congratulations, Corinne.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Excellent. And we'll probably do a giveaway next week. We got a really cool show coming up. I think we're going to talk more about that later. But yeah, so I want to get to the calls because we have a lot of people who have been holding.
And are they new? Ask them if they're new.
Yeah,
John.
we will see
First time.
if they are. I know we have, let me see, several people that are in the call center and not necessarily in the chat room to verify if they're new, but I can ask them when I get them on the line. So we can go ahead and start with area code let's see. Let's go with area code 509. Area code 509-230. 509-230. You're on the line with Michele. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hi, I'm Pam. I'm calling from Spokane, Washington.
All right, Pam. Is this your first time calling?
No, I've called one other time.
Okay. Well, we're happy to have you back. Can we have your question, please, for Michele?
Yes, I would love to know if there are any messages from me from loved ones.
Okay, who in particular, Pam?
My father.
Okay, from your dad. I can't pull them in. I do get a gentleman who I do have to say, he calls you little Pam or Pammy, and I do have to say we're talking hardworking gentleman here. And I also smell smoke. I do that sometimes, Pam. Somebody in family did smoke. Okay. So if you can acknowledge that, let me know. Would you?
Yes. He was a past smoker. Yes.
He was. All right. So that's his way of linking. Sometimes I'll get a feeling or a smell. He tells me he tried to stay on Earth as long as he could. I feel like I got to take a deep breath. And also, he needed to get his blood pressure checked. Your dad tells me. Are you there, darling?
I am. I'm here.
I heard some whistling. He needed to get his blood pressure checked. And there's also someone else in family. I don't know if you have a brother or he had a brother. He's talking about a brother who needs to go and keep up with physicals and get blood pressure checked. That's for sure.
Okay.
So do you have an uncle on Earth or do you have a brother, Pammy?
I have one brother.
Okay. Would you please tell him to keep up with his physicals and get his blood pressure checked? Dad wants you to do that. When they show balloons, it means something is past or something coming up, some type of a celebration. So we are where? We're in May, right? I don't even know what month we're in.
Yes.
Mother's Day. He acknowledges Mother's Day, even though this is your daddy. So is Mother still on Earth, Pam? He's gonna be there on Mother's Day for her, and he wants you to be there. Either call or draw close to her. All right.
Okay. Yes.
And there are some changes coming up for you with soul purpose. You didn't ask me that. I also have an angel behind you. I don't get a lot of angels, but it's a male figure, an androgynous being, and he's pretty tall. And he's wrapping his wings around you, Pam. And I need to tell you that you need to feel protected, sweetheart, this lifetime. He's gently rocking you. And again, whether you're working or whether you're not, within a few months, there's a big shift for you with soul purpose, which is synonymous with your line of work. You understand? It's synonymous.
That's what I've been searching for for quite a while. I have been looking for that.
Have you?
I really have.
Are you working now?
My goal is to go into something more holistic, maybe with essential oils or holistic healing. That's sort of my goal and my interest.
Okay, well, that's where you need to go. That's where you're here to heal, but not necessarily physically. It can be in the emotional or spiritual level as well. And that's what you're here to do, sweetheart. So look into all that. Look into aromatherapy. Reiki's mentioned. And, make the love-based decisions, not fear-based, Pam. I know that you try to make the love-based decisions. That's what you need to do. All right?
Okay.
Dad is very strong. He's one of your guides. The name of Michael is mentioned, and that comes out sometimes. So it's either this angel's name, unless you know a Michael. If you do, fine. If you don't, it's the angel's name. Okay? Michael.
Michael?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Thank
do you
you
know it? If you do not know any Michaels, it's the angel's angelic being's name. All right, darling?
Okay. I don't know Michael. Thank you.
Okay, then you can call upon him. And I see him with royal blue light, my dear. Very powerful. Very powerful. And you need to create a healing room, Pam. You need to create a healing room in your home. Paint it pale lavender, pale blue, or pale green. Those are very spiritual colors. You need to bring in the elements of earth, air, fire, water. So it could be a plant. It could be water, like a tabletop fountain. Candle. Okay. And try to bring all the elements in and into a corner space, and you can create like a little altar for yourself. And I really see you helping a lot of people, and I see it expanding. I do. So call upon Michael. He'll help you, darling.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
And thank you for calling from Washington. I appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for yourself. Bye.
All righty.
So she's going to get into some healing work. That's interesting.
That's great. Okay,
that's what we want.
Yeah. All right, so let's go to our first-time caller, Marguerite, 760-580. Marguerite on the line with Michelle. Can we have your name, please? Is that correct, Marguerite?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, this is Marguerite.
All right, great. And where are you calling from, hon?
Escondido, California.
All right, California. Okay, and do you have a question for Michelle?
Well, I would love to hear what my mother and father have to say to me. It's my birthday. It's my 62nd birthday, and on my 60th birthday, I was taking care of my loving mother at my home as she was in the process of crossing over.
Well, happy birthday.
I just would love to hear what she has to say.
Happy birthday, Marguerite.
Yes.
Bless you. We wish you lots of luck.
Thank you, sweetheart.
When you started to talk, I saw a shorter lady, a small lady coming in on the left side.
Yeah.
And do rosary beads connect with you? Is there Catholic in the family at all?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This is either your mother or your maternal grandmother. She also was a widow, and I have to say that because she's wearing navy.
Yeah.
And I have to ask either if your dad or your grandfather passed first. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
also, is there another? You're Marguerite. Is there another M name somewhere? An M name?
Yes.
Yes,
that was Grandma Marguerite, who I was named after.
Yes. She says you wear the name well, darling. And this is Marguerite with her rosary beads. She's throwing holy water at you. Let me get a drink. Excuse me.
Yes. Yes, that would be her.
She's throwing holy water at you, and the name of Anne or Anna has some allergies, and also Anthony is mentioned. So, excuse me. John downstairs, do you have Ricola?
Let's get a Ricola for Michelle. All right.
Is there an Anna or Anne, Marguerite?
Maybe her mother's name could have been Mary, and it could have been Anne, her middle name. I never got to meet her. She had crossed over before I was born.
Right. Your mother's also here, and we know Mother's Day's next week. Excuse me. She's thanking you, sweetheart, for taking care of her. She says you're an earth angel. Oh. I'm sorry. So bear with me. She says you're an earth angel, and it wasn't easy, but she heard singing, your mother, when she made transition. Isn't that interesting? And now, where do you have an angel, darling? Do you have an angel figurine, Marguerite?
Yeah, I have many angels. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, sweetheart. Bear with me, sweetheart. We have allergies I have allergies in PA.
That's okay.
There is a medal also, a gold medal on a chain. And what is that? Miraculous medal, or what kind of medal is that?
Yes, yes. I have a medal from my mother's priest who had crossed over just before her, and I was given it, and I kept it for my mother. So I
All right,
have it in my home.
Well, guess what? Your mother's showing it to me. And she's
Yeah,
glad you
yeah.
kept it. She's glad you kept it. And I do have to say, lilies are shown and roses. And I hear some Hail Marys. Excuse me. So we have a lot of Catholic going on here, darling. Ah.
Yes, lots of Catholics. Oh, yes.
Now, there's also Catherine, the name of Catherine somewhere. And that goes back in time, unless it's a Saint Catherine. But I get that name very plainly. And there's a baby going to be conceived and born in family, and it's a girl. Isn't that fun? So are you a
that will be exciting.
Are you a grandmother, Marguerite? Are you a grandmother, honey?
Yes, I have 2 grandsons now, but we will be praying. My other daughter, she's hoping for a little girl, but she hasn't conceived as yet. But that's her dream, to have a little baby girl.
Your mother has a baby in a pink blanket. She wants to hand it down to your daughter. And then there's a rose, the name of Rosa or Rose as well, back in time. There's a beautiful pink. There's a beautiful pink rose your mother wants to hand down to give to your daughter. Okay. And I do have your your father through. He looks fabulous.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And he says,
yes,
he says, go back to the old country. Go back to the homeland. He's telling me to tell you. Have you thought about visiting? Have you thought about visiting the homeland, Marguerite?
Where I was born and raised?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a 44-year class reunion, and I have planned to go back where I was born in Michigan.
Mm-hmm. Your dad knows about it. He says, have fun. He tells me,
I will.
Do you dye your hair? You don't dye your hair, or do you dye your hair?
I have to color my hair now. I'm 62.
Your dad says make sure you get your hair colored before your reunion.
Oh, tell him I plan to do that, Daddy. He wants his baby girl to look hot.
That's right.
And ask my daddy if he's going to send me a loving man. I've been single for 11 years, and I really need a loving man now that my mama and daddy are in the spirit world. I need someone else to love and be loved by.
Marguerite, you need to make a list for a man and write down qualities. And that's in my book, Messages from Beyond. You really do.
Okay.
There it is on the screen. And that's a powerful guidebook. I do have to tell you, powerful. You write, my heart is healed from the past, and I am now ready to attract my true soulmate, companion, and husband. For both our highest good, I want him to be eligible and willing to commit. And you write down about 5 or 6 qualities. And
how beautiful.
You make 2 copies, Marguerite. You put one in your pillowcase, all right? And then your other one you carry with you in your purse. And your dad is going to pick out a man for you, which I think is kind of interesting.
Wonderful.
And there's something else there's something else that's being said. You need to do your genealogy. Have you thought about going and doing some genealogy, Marguerite?
No, but I've been very interested. My father's father came from Italy as a young man by himself, and so I know no other family from Italy. And then my grandpa, he went to heaven before I was born, so I never got to meet him.
Well, guess what? They know you, and they want you to write down the genealogy from dad and mother's side. Some of these names that were mentioned, you will find. Mark those words. The name of Catherine and Anne or Anna, and also Rose. You'll find those. They're back in time somewhere, sweetheart.
Yeah.
So when you do,
beautiful.
When you do, let me know. Okay, one other thing is rings. Did your parents have wedding rings, Marguerite? They're holding up rings for me.
Yes. Yes,
Do you,
my mother's wedding ring. She gave to my daughter.
good, perfect. Because they wanted them to be handed down in family. So you've done a really good job. They say thanks for the prayers and lighting some candles for them. That made them feel special.
Yeah.
I'm getting little candles.
Thank
okay.
you.
I almost feel like I'm turning into a
Yeah.
Catholic or something.
Yes. Yes.
But,
I feel so much love around me. I feel so much love because I was blessed to help my father and my mother as they were transitioning to the spirit world. And I feel so much love and blessings from them.
Well, Marguerite, it's been wonderful to talk to you from California. Happy Mother's Day. Tell your daughter she's going to have a baby girl. And I send you all my love, darling. Thank you for calling. God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that was a great reading and a first-time caller, Marguerite. So thank you for calling in. Appreciate it. Keep in touch with us and let us know. Yeah, no, that was great. It was a great reading. It came up with a different area code, I think, than where she said she was, though. So that was interesting. So, yeah. All right. Well, great. So we are moving along to our next caller, another first-time caller, area code 541. 541-550. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hi, my name's Amy, and I'm calling from Oregon. And Michelle, you look so beautiful tonight. Those colors are gorgeous on you.
Thank you, darling. I'm just trying to battle a sore throat, but thank you very much. And what is your name? Amy.
Amy, yeah. So I was just wondering, there was a couple loved ones I was hoping to connect with, and I've been for years trying to make a big decision, big little decision in my life, and I keep feeling like the universe is either telling me, no, it's not going to happen, or the timing is not right. So I'm just curious if, my loved ones might have any advice or words of wisdom.
All right. Now, is your mother on Earth, Amy?
Yes.
Okay. And your maternal grandmother's passed, correct?
Correct. That she was more like a mother.
Yes. She's here. And she says, hi, Amy. I couldn't let this go by without saying Happy Mother's Day. She's going to be down. She's going to pull her energy down on Mother's Day on Sunday, sweetheart. She calls
Great. It'll be the first one without her, so great.
Oh, really? She calls you her own. And she feels responsible for you turning out to be such a lovely lady, she tells me. She says, tell Amy,
Yes.
She says, tell Amy I'm the one. I feel responsible for having her turn out as beautiful as she is. And she tells me you're beautiful inside as well as outside, and that she is going to help to gently guide you to where you need to be, Amy. I know you're in transition now. It's a pretty big transition from going from one part of your life to another. And she also takes me back a decade ago, 10 years ago, when you were going through some things in your life. So there was some struggles, some things happening 10 years ago, if you think back. She also says age 30, she says your grandmother, age 38 on. How old are you now, darling? What's your age now?
I'm 41. I'm 41.
Also, 38 was a big crossroads. So if you think back of, 3-4 years ago, you were also going through some shifting.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
It's a big crossroads. The other crossroads coming up, and this is recorded, will be at the age of 48 to 50. With that said, a lot of new beginnings, Amy. Your grandmother wants you to know you're not a quitter. You're a survivor, and you've done what you've needed to do this lifetime. She's very, very happy for you. She's happy you called. She wishes her daughter, your mother, a great day on Sunday. And also, she says that you're her favorite grandchild. I hope I'm not getting in trouble.
I have to say I've read so much, and I really feel, and one day I'll know when, I'm reconnecting with the spirits that I was always meant to be her child, but we had to go in a roundabout way to get there.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because we choose parents, and you took a surrogate route to get back to your grandmother who was supposed to raise you. I just have to tell you that. So she's a beautiful spirit. She's a gentle, kind spirit. She comes in blue light, which is a beautiful shade of blue. And do you have any other questions for her, Amy? Darling?
You know, I've had a big dream to purchase a second home where I'm from, and I feel a big longing, and that's a decision. I feel like either the universe is telling me it's not the right time, or it's just not supposed to happen. And, you know, I just would like to know, should I let go of that, or should I be patient?
Well, I'm hearing not yet, because remember, 38 was a crossroads, and you're coming up on another crossroads. It's a dream of yours, but not quite yet, Amy, your grandmother says. I mean, that's her opinion.
Then I won't give up.
No, never give up. Always follow your dreams. Always follow your heart. The good thing about you is you're able to bounce back. You're flexible with your life. So God bless you, darling. I mean, really, you've had some setbacks. The other thing you need to do is, are you getting along with your mother right now?
Yes, right now, but it's not always an easy road. But yes, right now.
I need to tell you, she's helping you with that. She's helping you with emotionally bonding more with Mother. Mother's had some setbacks and problems in her life, that's for sure. But I'm glad your grandmother came through, darling, and she wishes you all the best. And you're with her at night. You astral project with her, and you're going to dream of her. Yay! You're going to have a dream of her, Amy.
Yay, I do. And they're so special. Can I ask real quick? My grandfather, is he there?
That's her husband, right?
Correct.
Her husband. Now, I don't get him fully through, but they've met up, and she was welcomed with open arms, and he was a character. I don't get him through right now, but there's a lot of love here, darling. I wish I could pull them through for you. But just know she's...
It's okay. He doesn't seem to come through as much, so he must be busy doing something else. But I appreciate the time, and just one more question is, my cousin lost a baby, and when our grandmother passed, she was just hoping that the baby was with her and that she was holding the baby.
Yes, your grandmother has the baby with her. She says this one was lost, but now it's found. The soul did not want to remain on earth, and so it's nothing that your cousin did wrong. You tell her that, okay? It's nothing she did wrong.
Okay.
The baby might come back, though. Baby might come back.
Okay.
So thanks for calling from Oregon, Amy. God bless you, honey. Have a good night.
Yes, God bless you, Michelle. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Amy, for calling. Okay, Michelle. So how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Well, maybe one more, John.
Okay. All right. So let's do one more, and let's find out here what area code and phone number we should go to. I'm just going to close the phone lines right now then. All right. So let's go to, let's see, area code 210. 210-379. 210-379. You're on the line with Michelle. Can we have your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hello, darling. Who is this?
This is Norma.
Hi. How are you?
Norma, how are you? Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Is your mother passed, Norma?
My adopted mother has, yes.
Yeah. I just want to say, sweetheart, I have a mother figure through for you. So it would be your adopted mother. And I know you have a small sofa or a love seat or something somewhere in your house. And you sit there and you do a lot of thinking, and she's right next to you, your adopted mother. Isn't that funny? When you sit there, you have a smaller, what is it, a love seat or a smaller sofa, Norma?
Yes, it's a small love seat.
Yeah.
I sit there a lot in the morning.
Yes. So when you sit there in the morning, she's next to you, she tells me. And she has her arm around you. She tried to do the best she could. And she says she hopes, Norma, that you feel that about her. I'm getting a person that was, I would say a little abrupt sometimes, but she tried to do the best she could. And I hope that you have a lot of love in your heart for her, because she definitely has a lot of love in her heart for you, darling.
Thank you. That's good to hear.
And do you ever think of her? Because she's around you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think of her, and of course, my dad, my adopted dad.
Yeah, they're together. They're together, darling. But she's strong, and she's so cute. She has her hair shorter. Your adopted mother. She has it kind of curled now. She shows it to me.
Yeah, she had a lot of wave in her hair.
Yeah, she did. She had a lot of wave. That's beautiful, semi-curly. Do you have a husband, Norma? Do you have a husband?
Yes, I sure do.
And is his mother passed? Your mother-in-law, honey?
Yes.
She says hello. There's a lady behind you that says, Norma, don't forget me. I count too. She's thanking you for being with her son, and thanking you for being so devoted to him, Norma. You have a lot of loyalty in your personality.
Oh yeah.
So,
we've been married 43 years.
And somebody had cancer. Was that your mother-in-law that had the cancer? The symbol's coming up.
No. Actually, his sister had cancer.
Then she sang hello.
My husband's sister passed away.
Yes. So the mother-in-law is bringing her daughter through that had the cancer, which would be your husband's sister. And she wants you to keep up with mammograms. Your sister-in-law. She says, "Hi, Norm. Hi, Norma. I had to come through and say, keep up with your health." She says, "Keep up with the mammograms. Don't let things slide." She says, "I've made it to heaven and I'm with my mother." So there you go. You have your sister-in-law, your mother-in-law, and your adopted mother here, darling. A lot of female energy.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. That's awesome to hear.
And
I'm glad they're all together.
So know when you're sitting on the love seat in the morning, have some tea or whatever, and know that your mother's next to you. Okay, sweetheart?
Okay. Thank you so much, Michele.
Bye-bye, honey. Take care.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
My.
All right.
She got a lot.
She sure did. A little family reunion there.
You got a family reunion. How about it?
All right, so we want to apologize to the callers who were holding. I don't want Michele to continue. She's not feeling that well,
I feel okay. It's just that I have a lot of allergies.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you have allergies,
yes,
it gets you here.
Yeah, I understand, and that's what you need to speak. So I don't want you to be uncomfortable. So but I want to thank everybody for tuning in and for always. We have so many loyal people who tune in on a regular basis, and we thank you for that. We tried to get to as many first-time callers, and we appreciate you allowing them to have a first time to speak with Michele. Incredible readings tonight, Michele. So thank you.
So much.
Yeah,
thank you.
Despite everything, you pushed through, and it turned out to be great. So thank you.
The first 15 minutes, they can just hear a recording.
Well, we're back live on Facebook, so it was an intermittent stream that just kept going in and out. So it must be something on their end, because we weren't doing anything here to make anything happen. So I don't know. It just popped on, and then it just popped off and back on again. So, but we're glad that the people who got through to get the message first time you're on fire tonight. I mean, you're wearing that orange, that fire color, and you were on fire with the reading. So it was great. So
thanks,
thank you
John.
so much. And we'll be back next week. I think we're going to do a guest next week. We're going to talk about that this week and work everything out. But I think we have a big surprise for you.
And it's on signs and synchronicities.
Yeah, signs and synchronicities, and involves a major celebrity. So we will have more details for you very soon.
And also, if you shared tonight's show, you may have a chance to win Miraculous Encounters, which I wrote, which is 10 different ways the spirit realms communicate. And I think
Okay.
you'd love it.
A
So,
signed copy of that.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And Living in the Afterlife, Corinne Toloski. So hopefully she's viewing on Facebook.
Yeah, and depending on how Facebook turned out when we go back and review the video, we do have a live, uninterrupted recording here that we will go ahead and upload either to Facebook, to YouTube, to all the different outlets. John does an incredible job of dealing with all of that and making it all better for us. So thank you, John, out there.
Thank you, my hubby, John.
Yes,
Mwah.
Michelle's husband, John, and we will be back again next week. And in the meantime, as we always say,
Always be kind.
always be kind. We'll see you guys
I love
next
you,
week.
John
I
Wayne.
love
God
you too,
bless.
hon. Take care.
Bye-bye.